Molweni, today's video is for learners who are doing grade 11 economics. So in this video, I'll just unpacking or giving the list of the focus areas for paper 1 mid-year examination, grade 11 economics mid-year examination. So in your paper 1 grade 11, the main topic here, E1, is macroeconomics. That is your main topic for paper 1. It includes 4 subtopics that you need to focus on. The first one is called factors of production. That is the first topic to focus on as you are preparing for paper 1, factors of production, whereby you must be able to discuss all the 4 factors of production. You must be able to discuss them in detail, meaning you must know the characteristics, you must know the importance of each and every factor of production. For instance, you must know the characteristics of labor. Remember, we said labor, it is the physical and the mental effort used in the production of goods and services. So you must be able to explain in detail the labor, which is the characteristics and the economic importance. Then secondly, we have capital. Capital, it is the money or the resources that are used to produce goods and services. That's how you define or describe capital. And also, you must be able to discuss it in detail, whereby you must be able to discuss the characteristics and the economic importance of capital. Then you have entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur, someone or a person who takes a risk and start a business, right? So also you must be able to discuss entrepreneur in detail, meaning you must be able to know the economic importance of entrepreneur, the characteristics of a good entrepreneur. You must be able to discuss it in detail. Then the last one, we have the natural resources. Also, you must be able to discuss natural resources in detail, right? Natural resources in terms of the characteristics and then the economic importance of natural resources. And then the second subtopic is called circular flow and quantitative elements. Here on this topic, it's whereby we must be able to discuss the participants, which is the role players of the circular flow. Firstly, what is meant by circular flow? Circular flow is a model that shows us how the economy works. It gives us a relationship of the production, income, and expenditure, right? It includes 4 participants if ever we're focusing on the open economy, whereby we have households. We have households, then we have government, which is the state, we have government, we have firms, and then we have foreign sector. We have foreign sector. Those are the 4 participants of the circular flow. So we must be able to discuss the role played by each and every participant. What is the role played by household? Role played by the state? Role played by the firms? Role played by the foreign sector into the economy, right? And then the other one, you must be able to differentiate between the 2 flows, which is the real flow and the money flow, right? And then we have the money that is coming in, then the money that is going out, which is now the money that leaves the circular flow, whereby we have the injections, we have the leakages. So obviously, you must be able to distinguish between these 2. Injections, obviously, it is the additional amount of money into the circular flow. It is the additional amount of money into the circular flow. But you must be able to discuss it more further, meaning you must be able to discuss it in detail. Also, you must know the impacts of injections into the economy. Then the second one, we have leakages. What is meant by leakages? Leakages, it's a withdrawal of the money. It is the withdrawal of the money from the circular flow. You must also be able to discuss or explain the impacts of leakages into the economy. Then we also have the markets, whereby we have the 4 sector model markets, whereby we have the capital market. We have the capital market. Then we have the money market. Then we have the product market. Then we have the factor market. Then we have the foreign sector, or the foreign exchange market. So all those markets must be able to discuss them in detail, whereby the capital market is the market for long-term loans and funds which are borrowed and saved by the consumers and business enterprise. And then the money market, it is the market money market is a market for short-term loans which are borrowed and saved by the consumers and by the business enterprise. So the difference between the capital market and the money market, the other one is for long-term funds and loans, which is the capital. Then the other one is for short-term loans and funds, which is the money market. Then we have the factor market. Factor market is the market whereby we trade the factors of production, which is labor, capital, entrepreneur, natural resources. We trade these factors of production under the factor market. Then we have the product market. Product market, it's a market for consumer goods and services, whereby we're able to buy the goods and services such as the durable goods, semi-durable goods, non-durable goods, and services. And then the last market is called the foreign exchange market. That market is whereby we're able to exchange the currency, whether you are traveling abroad or whether you are buying goods from other countries. We exchange the currency under the foreign exchange market, but you must be able to discuss those markets in detail. And then under the quantitative elements, whereby we're able to analyze and discuss further the national accounts aggregates, meaning you must be able to describe GDP, GNI. What is meant by GDP? GDP is a gross domestic product, meaning it's a total value of the final goods and services produced within the borders of a country in a specific period of time. So you must be able to discuss or describe the term GDP. It falls under the quantitative elements. So here we're using three methods when determining the GDP. We're using the production. We have the production method, and then we have the income method, and then we have the expenditure method. So you must be able to distinguish between the three methods, and also you must be able to calculate the GDP using the three methods. That is under the quantitative elements, which is the national accounts aggregates. And then the third subtopic is called economic systems, whereby we have three economic systems that we're focusing on. We have the central planned system. Central planned system, that is also known as a command system. This system is whereby all the resources are owned and controlled by the state. It's whereby all the resources or all the factors of production are controlled and owned by the state. That is the central planned system, which is the command system. Then the second system is called the free market system. Free market system, it is also known as capitalism. That's whereby the resources or the means of factors of production are owned and controlled by the private individuals, meaning now there is no government intervention on this system. Everything is controlled by the certain individuals. That is a free market system. That is also known as capitalism. Then we have the third system, which South Africa is using this system, which is called mixed system or mixed economy. Mixed economy is a system that combines the two of the system. It combines the central planning system, also the free market system. Then they make one system that is called a mixed system, which is South Africa. Our country is using this system called a mixed system, whereby there are resources who are controlled and owned by the state, and then there are resources who are controlled and owned by certain individuals, which is now they are privately owned in one country, which is now in one economy. Then we call it's a mixed system. So here you you must be able to discuss those three systems in detail, whereby you are able to explain the characteristics. How do you identify the economy that is using central planning system? Which is, now you must know the characteristics of this system. You must know the characteristics of the free market system. You must know the characteristics of the mixed system. Meaning, how do you identify the economy, whether it's using the mixed system, free market system, a central planning system? And also, you must be able to explain and discuss the advantages, which is now the benefits. What are the benefits of using a central planning system? What are the benefits of using a free market system? What are the benefits of using a mixed system? So you must know and be able to discuss those advantages of the three systems. Obvious also, if we have advantages, surely we do have the disadvantages. So we must also be able to discuss and explain the disadvantages of these three systems. What are the disadvantages of using a central planning system, of using a free market system, and mixed system? So we must know those systems in detail. And then the last subtopic is called economic structure and infrastructure. It's a very simple topic whereby you must be able to discuss the three types of industries, whereby we have the primary sector, we have the secondary sector, we have the tertiary sector. You must be able to discuss all those three sectors, which is the types of industries. And then lastly, we have the infrastructure. You must be able to discuss the infrastructure, which is whereby we have the communication, we have technology, we have transportation, we have energy. So we must know the economic importance of those types of infrastructure. What are the importance of transportation, importance of communication, importance of technology, importance of energy? That is your paper 1 for media examination, grade 11. We have only 4 subtopics: factors of production, circular flow, economic systems, economic structure, right? And then now, about the essays. Here on this topic, which is the factors of production, according to the examination guideline, there are 2 possible essays under this topic, whereby you must be able to discuss in detail natural resources. This says according to exam guideline, you must discuss in detail natural resources, meaning you must know the characteristics of natural resources. You must know the economic importance of natural resources. Then the second one, according to exam guideline, we have entrepreneurship, whereby you must be able to discuss entrepreneur in detail, meaning the characteristics and the economic importance of entrepreneur, whereby also you must know the skills. You must be able to discuss the skills of a good entrepreneur. Those are the 2 essays under the factors of production. And then under circular flow and quantitative element, according to the examination guideline, there are no essays listed under this topic. Let me repeat it again. Grade 11, according to examination guideline, under this topic, circular flow, there are no essays listed according to the exam guideline based on this topic, which is the circular flow. But some educators and some curriculum advisors, they normally advise subject teachers to set question papers whereby they have to create essays based on this topic under the markets and participants, only because this topic, which is circular flow, it's a progressive topic, meaning next year in grade 12 you will be doing the same circular flow, and in grade 12 there are essays under circular flow. So now some educators, they are advised to give learners essays under this topic even though it is not listed according to exam guideline, so that they can be familiar when they get to grade 12 for the following year, which is the essays. They normally prefer markets, whereby you must be able to discuss the markets, which is, I've listed the markets: capital, money market, product market, and the factor market. And then also you can also give the essays under the participants, whereby you are able to discuss the four main participants of the open economy. But according to exam guideline, there are no essays under this topic. But most of the teachers and CEs, they advise to assess learners based on the markets and the participants. Because of this topic, it's a progressive topic, which is next year. This topic is done. You will be doing this topic next year, unlike this topic, because this topic is not a progressive topic. Grade 12, you won't be doing this topic, even though there are two essays under it. But on this one, this topic, according to exam guideline, there is this topic on grade 12 ATP, meaning you'll be doing this topic again next year. That is why they prefer to have essays under the markets and the participants. And then the third subtopic, we have economic systems, whereby you must be able to discuss this system. I think the essay says there, discuss. It's either you discuss one of those three systems. Either you discuss central planning system, or you discuss free market system, or you discuss mixed economic system. If not so, you must be able to compare and construct between the two. It's either they say you must compare, you are doing comparison, you compare between the two. It's either you compare between the central planned system and the mixed system. Basically, that essay, you'll be writing about the advantages or disadvantages of the mixed system. At the very same time, you'll be discussing the central planned system, because the question said you must compare and construct, meaning you are doing a comparison between the two. And then the last subtopic there are essay questions here. There are two. The first one is here under the types of industries, whereby you must be able to discuss in detail one of those industries. I think says, according to exam guideline, you must discuss in detail tertiary sector, meaning in your introduction, you describe what is meant by tertiary sector. Your main body, you discuss the economic importance of tertiary sector. And then also here we have the infrastructure. There is an essay under the infrastructure, whereby you must discuss also is either it's transportation, we have communication, we have energy. So basically, you must be able to discuss in detail all the four subtopics. And lastly, what I normally advise, it becomes easier if ever as a learner, you don't focus only on essays. I normally say, regardless of if essay topic is an essay question, but if ufunda yonke into, meaning you study everything that will appear on paper 1, even if I pull me as essay question, but I can guarantee you izawuphuma ku section B, meaning if ever the factors of production aziphumi as essay question, but surely zingaphuma ku section B, ziphuma as zintoni phaya, ziphuma as long and medium question, meaning you must be able to discuss all those four subtopics. Don't focus only on the essay questions. You must focus kuzo zonke i-topics zakho. Thank you.